Hey there, social psych. I'm Grace Walton, and I'm here to explain some concepts to you all and draw some pretty pictures. Social psychology is an interesting field, isn't it? It begs us to think about our own behavior, from our fascination with others to our own actions. Social psych is a broad field. One question remains that we often ask ourselves, though. Why do we do the things that we do? Surely you've seen aggressive driving or frustrated screaming people in public. Maybe you've seen someone give some extra spare change to a charity or helped an old person cross the street. But either way, why do we do these things, both good and bad? The question itself is actually an example of attribution. Attribution is the process of trying to determine and pinpoint the origin of something. Specifically, in social psychology, it's the process of determining where a person's behavior results from. Attributions can be done consciously or subconsciously, and they help us survive. They can even manipulate our emotions in the sense of how we interpret others' behaviors. There are many types of attributions, but there are two main ones: internal and external. Internal attributions determine that behavior is caused from within, that it results from one's personality traits. External, on the other hand, focuses on the environmental or situational origins of one's behavior. We use both to comprehend and understand the world around us, but we can and do make mistakes, especially in terms of internal attributions. A prime culprit of incorrect attributions is also known as the fundamental attribution error. The fundamental attribution error can be summed up as making a false internal attribution. We often believe that others' behaviors are influenced more by their personality traits rather than their environment. Often this is not the case because environmental triggers have enormous influences on our behavior. Having a fight with your spouse can make you more irritable and thus more likely to scream at someone in public. This doesn't mean that you're an aggressive person, merely that you behaved aggressively because of circumstance. While attributions can help us survive, the fundamental attribution error can deter us from seeing people and situations objectively. Even in the early days of social psychology, attributions were really well studied. Sigmund Freud, the guy who talked way too much about childhood and did perhaps one too many drugs, created the first psychological theory on attributions. This lingered in the field for a really long time. Freud argued that behavior was a result of both innate personality traits and childhood experiences. This theory also supported the idea and importance of internal attributions. However, this notion was changed when psychologist Kurt Lewin proposed a different idea on attributions. Lewin's equation, a psychological theory in the style of an algebraic equation, was used to assert his view of attributions, and it supports the importance of external causes. Instead of focusing on traits and childhood, Lewin kept personality traits as a component, but he replaced childhood experiences with environmental figures. Lewin suggests that behavior is both the result of traits and environmental figures working together, and his equation has since replaced Freud's. Despite this research, it is often difficult to be aware of your attributions, and we still make plenty of mistakes. This is partly because attributions are often knee-jerk reactions, and they help us form these initial first impressions, but because of their speed, we do sacrifice quality. These first impressions can and often are incorrect at times, and we do need time to slow down and process things to understand them fully. Therefore, we have duplex minds, which are brain processes that involve two steps of the attribution process. Picture this. You're walking to class and a person runs into you, knocking you down onto the ground, and they don't stop to apologize. Your first thought is that the person is probably being aggressive or mean. This is the common first step of the duplex mind, or an internal attribution. We initially assume that there is something wrong with the other person. It certainly isn't the environment or our own fault. This is also known as the fundamental attribution error, and it happens during this first step. The second step is slow and usually after the fact, and it's typically an external attribution. You, after having some time to process, can realize the behavior of someone could be caused by external factors. This can correct our incorrect initial response and calm us down. Attributions are wonderful skills that our brains have developed to help us understand each other and society. However, they, much like people in general, are prone to mistakes. We can make errors, need more time to process things, or even just incorrectly assume that someone else is to blame for our own problems. But being aware of these processes can help us think better about our own actions of others, so that the next time when someone cuts you off at a stop sign or yells at you in Walmart, it's important to be sympathetic of the other person and check their environment before you blame it on their innate personality.